What up, players? It's World Boss Tay up in this mug. Welcome to my wrap up for the Apoc August in September project that myself and War Painter Brian have been running over the months of August and September. So the theme was hot and cold, hot versus cold. So I decided to go with a Vostroyan tank representing a very cold climate, and I tried to paint it up as if they're going through a very cold wasteland or urban ruins. So like the ruins of a decimated city. So let me take you through the final project. I started by painting up the base colors. So that is I went with Mornfang Brown and Steel Legion Drab, and then Karak Stone for all of the armor plates. For the silver, I did Lead Belcher. For the gold, I did Balthazar Gold. So I just knocked out all the base colors. And then I added in these red markings. I detached the turret so I could remove it in just a second, show you a little bit more on that. But I did these red squadron markings in Mephiston Red. And then I added these transfers using the transfers sheet that came with the Vostroyan or the Baneblade tank. I decided to go with 11 because that was my lady boss's jersey number when she used to play sports in high school, and I thought it'd be a cute little homage to her. I also did battle damage. So base colors, then transfers, and then battle damage. The battle damage I did by taking a small piece of sponge that comes with the old metal model blister packs, just ripped it off, and then I used, where is it? Here we go, Storm Vermin Fur. And if we zoom in, you can really see how up close, how effective Storm Vermin Fur is. It's showing corroded armor plates, like the paint just chipping off of the armor. Okay, and then after that I decided to get to the weathering. So with the weathering, I gotta say this company, 40k Interactive, is amazing. First of all, I gotta talk about their White Spirit. White Spirit is like a thinner. It's a medium that you use to, when you put on your weathering powder, you put on the White Spirit, and then what it does is it softens the edges, so you don't see a very definite streak. Take these for example. They look very cool because they look like they kind of naturally built up. And actually, let me show you the left side is even better. So you can see with the weathering that the White Spirit really softened the edges on. I'm looking specifically at these areas here where I tried to do some streaking effects that make it look like the rain and rust was streaking down the side, and it looks fantastic because of the White Spirit. So what are the, get back on there, you stubby little cannon. So what are the cannons that I use from 40k Interactive to do the weathering? Well, specifically I used, well, first let me show you, I use, where is it? Streaking Grime, it's called, and it is absolutely amazing. And it's a bottle of this fluid. You just shake it up and you apply it, and then you drag it down and it streaks, and then you add White Spirit to make it, if you don't want it to look as harsh as these on the left. So that's what I did. I added White Spirit, and it just made it look really, really nice and clean. Then I wanted to get a little bit of a shine to each of the rivets, as if they looked really oily and old, and as if the machine has, been on a very long tour. So I decided to also use this engine oil from 40k Interactive. It has a glossy finish, and that means that no matter what, it's going to be nice and shiny. So those I mean, it takes a little while to for it to dry, but I mean, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I decided with these fuel plates in the back to create a little bit of a narrative and say that the fuel tanks are leaking. So somehow the tank got damaged and the fuel tanks are leaking. So that allowed me to do a little cool narrative thing to show the engine oil and the gasoline leaking out the back. Cool. And so after I did the weathering, then I added a Tamiya Clear Red for all the red lenses, targeting lenses. Then it was pretty much done. The last thing to do was paint the crew guys, which I painted in standard Vostroyan colors. You can see the tank commander peeking out from behind underneath the stubber, and there's this one guy popping out of the top. Now the reason why I decided to do that, I wanted to have a cool narrative thing going on. So the reason is that the back of the tank right over here, something has gone wrong. The tank has gotten some damage, like I said, which is why the fuel is leaking out. And so the engine sear, most Baneblades come with a tech priest or an engine sear that kind of tries to keep the spirits, the machine spirit, happy throughout battle. He popped out from one of the hatches. He ran to the back. He got his little toolkit out. He was saying prayers and trying to fix the engine, and he got blown off. He got hit and fell off. So I wanted to add some blood effects here. Haven't got to do it yet. Not really quite sure on how and where I wanted to do that, but I did want to wrap this up already, so I'm just showing you the narrative. I glued this hatch open, and this one I magnetized. So I figured, like, if you know, it's a good way you could show battle damage. The more I wanted to have all these hatches magnetized, and I can pop them off and put like smoke effects. But you could get some like black cotton or something, or I think, what's that? Flames of War Company has those black cotton plumes that you can use to show vehicles that have been damaged and immobilized. So I might do that, but I thought it was just really cool to be able to see what's going on the inside of these hatches there. And what else did I do? We'll get to the weathering on the tracks in just a second. Oh yeah, let's look at the front here. I painted, or I wrote in, using my .005 micro arts pen. If you guys haven't seen it yet, this is what it looks like. Micron .005, small, super small tip, and I used it to handwrite Vestroia Eternal, which is I guess just a it's not the tank's name. I just thought it was really cool. It's a cool thing to add. Then on the side here, the Spear of Vestroia, which is, I think, a cool name for the tank. The Spear of Vestroia. I tried to do old Gothic lettering. I'm not so sure if I'm happy with how sloppy it turned out. But does have a very John Blanche-ish kind of look to it, which I'm very proud of. So I don't know, I might go back to it. Alright, let's take a look at the front. I used some Gale Force 9 chain. Some of you might remember I did a review on that product a while back. So I just looped it around the front like it's a tow cable, a tow chain, and then I added in some of the engine oil to make it look dark and grimy and dirty. And yeah, and now it's just left hanging there. But I did want to, what I did was I looped it around and I tried to make it have this kind of weight where it sags in the center. And then I just dragged the engine oil enamel around it. And then I super glued it on the sides here. So it's never going to leave, it's never going to move. Even if I move it around, the enamel paint, once it's dried, has made it so the chains don't go flipping, flopping, and flying everywhere, which is pretty nice. And then for the snowy, ashy look on the tracks, which I did even into the track wheels on the sides here, you can see it's kind of gritty, and it's nice and textured. You could use a texture paint from Games Workshop, like that they use for their textured basing, but what I found was really, really good was Vallejo, or Vallejo, makes a really nice brand of textured pigments. Look at that on the front, that looks just fantastic, like snow or ice, like from a snow world. And where is it? I can pull it up for you here. It's a textured range, and it is called here it is. I bought a whole bunch of Vallejo stuff, and so I'm just trying to keep it all in order. Pasta arenisca, or sandy paste. Pasta. So the sandy paste has like a texture to it. It's grainy. It goes on thick, and look at how it dries. It just dries like sand and gravel, mixed up, all ground up underneath the tracks and the treads. I think it encapsulates the feel of an ice world, or a world that's covered in snow and ice for a long time, very well, very nicely. So I think that's it. I used some more Vallejo weathering powders and pigments on the back for the pipes here. Here's the Micron Arts pen for the purity seals on the shrine. And I think that's it. There's no other cool details. I kind of got lazy with the barrels on the back. I didn't really know what to do. If I wanted to paint them gold, or if I wanted to paint them in the armor color, the clamp handles for the fuel barrels. So I just ended up deciding to do neither and just left them silver. But that's really the only thing that is not, I think, really, really awesome about this tank. Everything else I'm very, very proud of. And I see now that the clock is at 11 minutes and 48 seconds. So I'm going to pop this turret back on. I'll give you one final look at the spear of Vestroia before I put it away for good. And there it is. The reason I decided to magnetize it was because I was reading the stats for this Baneblade, and I thought that it's, you know, a Baneblade like this is going to look pretty cool, but there is the other option of making something like a Hellhammer, I think it's called. I'm not sure. Anyways, here is the finished tank. Please let me know what you think. Comments, critiques, criticisms, always welcome. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.